before we get to the interviews, let's bring in the lovely Beatriz. Let's bring her in. Welcome,
All right.
Beatriz.
Hello.
How you doing? I know you and Hanata haven't met. Hanata, Beatriz, Hanata.
Nice to meet you, Beatriz.
Nice to meet you.
Well, welcome to Brazil, Brazil with Renata Lopes channel. So
Yes, Beatriz is an excellent teacher. She was introduced to me by somebody that I met in Copa, and while I was in Brazil, I didn't get a chance to start lessons. But since coming back home, we've been doing lessons like this over the net, and it's been a great help. It's only been a couple of weeks, but I'm feeling it. So I wanted her to come on and talk to people that have been asking us about lessons and different things like that. So any questions you have, you can ask her, but maybe you can tell us more about your course.
or the guys
Yes.
also keep coming in live. Sorry.
Yeah. If anybody that wants to come in here, let me pop up the let me invite you all. But go ahead, Beatrice.
Yeah. So I started teaching English a while ago. I developed my own method, and about 2 years ago, I thought about doing the same with Portuguese. I tried, and it's been amazing. It's all online, which is great, and it really focused on conversation. So I noticed that people, especially when you're a bit older, they have a really hard time learning the standard way with books and just talking. So I try to combine grammar, the structure, the rules, with conversation. So it's not boring, but at the same time, I don't want it just to be a conversation. I think so many teachers just do, let's just talk, but you don't really learn anything. So I think it's the perfect lessons are a mix of grammar rules plus talking, conversations. And then it knows, like my lessons are very, very, like you use your brain a lot, because the whole time you have to formulate the sentences. I'll give you the formula, the vocabulary, and then you have to do it. It's not just me going blah, blah. No, it's very, 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 very proactive way to learn. And I think that's why people like it, because you actually, you have to, if you're not learning, it's obvious, because the whole lesson is basically you formulating sentences. And at the same time, you're learning the grammar in a fun, practical way. So yeah, it's really good, very practical too. Dennis and I do 2 lessons a week, which is really good for time-wise, right? Because, homeworks, maybe you spend 30 minutes a week doing it, plus the lessons, that's like 4-hour, maybe 5-hour week time investment. So yeah, I think, it's a really good, really good skill to have. And if you want to learn, if you want to come to Brazil, especially if you want to stay longer, learning the language is such an incredible asset. I can't even begin to tell you what a massive difference it makes in anything. Meeting girls, making friends, work, anything at all. Learning Portuguese will make a big difference, I think.
Yes. Let me bring in.
Friends, work,
Sorry.
anything at all.
Let me bring in. There's somebody waiting in the room. I don't know if they have a question, but let me just bring them in. Let's welcome Charlie. Charlie,
Boa noite.
I didn't want you sitting in the room, but I want Beatrice to be able to finish her intro here. And
It's understandable.
Charlie, it's
happy
Charlie,
holidays.
it's nice hat. I
Oh
like it.
yes. Thank you.
Hat for
Yes.
Christmas, huh? Ready.
I'm ready. Beatrice, I have one question. You being a language teacher, how many of your students do you run across that have a inclination or aptitude? They just have a feel for picking up a language. You ever run across somebody like that?
Yes, for sure. I have a British student right now that's amazing. He's just he picks up pretty fast. I would say about 20% of my students, and then most of them are just good in general, like they have an average aptitude, but they still learn really well. And maybe 10% of them have like a hard time learning,
Okay.
I would say. But it's
So
very rare.
what do you contribute that 10% to the ones that have a hard time? Maybe
Honestly,
personally-
it's genetics. I'm like, honestly, it's not like, it's unexplainable. It's just how some people are. Some people have a natural gift. So, and
exactly.
I have one student who's not amazing at languages, but he's so smart in his life. Like, he has a really good job. So it's honestly like, I don't know. Like, he's still learning really well. So anyone can really learn. That's the truth. I mean, Dennis has been doing amazing, right? So it's like, yeah, honestly, regardless of age, regardless of like anything, I will
Well,
say
Dennis-
that like, yeah,
Dennis has a
Portuguese
great
is a hard
personality,
language.
so he can pick up stuff real quick.
but
Thank you.
honestly, English is much easier. I teach English to Brazilians, and it's very rare that someone has a hard time in English because it's so easy. But then Portuguese is much harder.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the
I
thing-
English
Yeah.
ain't that hard. I'm 66 and I'm still trying to learn English.
Yeah, I have one thing to say. The thing is, the guys they want to speak Portuguese, but when they are here, in Brazil, they not use much. They not practice. It's see they are
Yes.
afraid. They are shy to put out to talk with people.
Yes.
And then
for
it's
sure.
hold, I think, for they learn more and feel confidence
Yeah.
to talk with somebody. You understand? They only
1000%.
say few small things just to be cute. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they need to. I say all the time, you need to go out, you need to try, you need to speak. That's how I learn my English. You understand? I don't go into
Oh, yeah.
school. I don't go to any class. So I just go out and start to
Yeah.
talk with people.
For 1000%. Extroverts like have a way easier time learning language, that's for sure.
Exactly.
When I was
because
in
when I
America,
I'm
it
sorry,
was
go
like
ahead.
that for me. I was
Okay.
there, and I remember I had a government class, and there's a Mexican girl in my class. She was in America for 5 years. And after my first lesson, my teacher came up to me and he was like, I was really impressed that you already like had opinions in the class because in your speaking, like your English is not perfect, but I'm out of you. Like we have our student here who's from Mexico and she's been here for 5 years. She doesn't really speak. She's really shy. She doesn't want to speak. And it was just like, my English wasn't not amazing at all. But I was willing to make mistakes, and I was just, trying to participate. So that's, I think, the most important thing.
Yeah, I think when they are involved with the class, with peoples, that's what I say, when they are involved and they not be shy, they learn much more fast.
That's why I opted to go with a teacher rather than keep going with the app. I
Yes,
needed
that is
face-to-face.
yes. Because
And I needed
I
to
feel
be
like when you learn properly, I think you're more confident to speak to people. So I totally get you. Like, if you don't feel confident, how are you gonna go and talk to people? So I think that, for sure, I think learning it properly makes it easier for you to feel confident and less shy talking to people, and learning the correct way, not just like Duolingo, like this, that, like learning how to say proper sentences and like things like that.
Exactly. When I was living in Germany, I learned to speak German by reading the newspapers or looking at shows and stuff like that. And before long, it just started to flow. When I try to speak Portuguese, I end up biting my tongue all the time. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, continue, Beatrice. I'm sure you have more to say. During our introductory class, or it wasn't really a class, it was just you explaining your methods.
Yeah.
And we went into a couple of things. And I want to give other people the same experience.
Yeah. So pretty much what I always tell my students, like, is in potential students, the way the class works. Like I said, I follow my own method. So I'll be giving vocabulary and I'll be teaching formulas, right? So conjugation, to be verb, past tense, future tense, possessives, all of those. And I'll give you a PDF. I'll give you the written formula. and I'll show you how to properly say it. And then I'll give you examples, and then it's on you. So for example, like Dennis and I, like we've been learning like how to say things in infinitive. For example, when you say I want to eat, or I need to drink, or I like to dance, right? Using the to. We've been learning how to do that in Portuguese. And he's been speaking the whole class. I'm like, Dennis, can you tell me I like to run? And then he goes and says it. It's like that the whole lesson. So you can keep practicing. I also always review every subject, every lesson, so you don't forget, because consistency is key when you learn a language, right? And yeah, in terms of everything's online, so that's good, very flexible. I always recommend 2 to 3 lessons a week.
So, yeah,
he has one of the PDFs that I made.
It's an example of what she would put up, and then we would go through it. And she also gives homework. And well, you can continue.
Exactly. That's a perfect example. To be verb, I am, you are, she is, like things like that. Because sometimes people, they know how to say a little bit, but they don't fully know, and they're not confident. And I'm like, no, let's learn exactly what to be verb is. How do you use it? When do you use it? Let's put it up to test, not just writing. Let's speak it. Like, for me, it's so important to speak. Like, because if you're only writing and reading, how are you going to have a conversation with someone? You know? And then the homework is to practice your writing, because that's important too. Just a little notice, there has been like a lot of rain and sometimes like power outbreaks. So if something happens, like that's what happened, but probably not. I'm just in the middle of Brazil right now, in the Midwest, and the weather has been a little wild today. Just a little notice, but
shaky.
Hopefully not. Yes, it's been crazy here. I'm visiting my family in the Midwest of Brazil. But yeah, so pretty much it's all about conversation and at the same time grammar rules. I always tell my students to try to have an understanding of what times and what days we're going to have lessons, but I have students who are busier, some that are not. Everything obviously is very personalized, so I look at each student and I'm like, okay, you should practice more listening, you need more writing. But yeah, pretty much it's just about speaking and being confident. I always say, like, you're not going to be confident if you're not saying things proper. And I'm really big on that. I always tell Dennis, then I always tell my students that you have to learn to speak properly. Like, eu estou, você está, nós estamos, it's like, do not mix it up, because then you're gonna feel so comfortable speaking to people, and then once you get to a level that you are talking, it's game over. So the first 3 to 5 months, it's formulas, it's those rules, get comfortable speaking, and then after that, we have full-on conversation classes where we're just talking, and I'm correcting you and helping you speak a little better, correcting your pronunciation, and then from that level you can definitely just go out and talk to people. I have students that we literally talk about everything. One of my students
Dennis,
like, how was your weekend?
Hold on.
I'm back. Just a minute.
Okay.
So like I have full conversation to my students now. Students that know Portuguese when we're gone, and now we talk about everything. Where did you go to college? What are you doing for the future? Everything. And in Portuguese, just conversations back to back. And that's the goal. The goal is for you to be speaking properly and comfortably. So, yeah.
Sean Don is asking, do you teach online?
Yes, exclusively online.
Exclusively
Only online. Usually I do Google Meets, sometimes WhatsApp for students that only want audio. Yeah, Google Meets, Zoom, all of that.
And what is your contact for Portuguese class? Do you want me to put up do you use your Instagram as a contact?
Maybe that's easier. Or I can put my number as well, but maybe that's easier.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be putting up an edit of this video where it's just per portion, and all their contact information is going to be there. But I will put up, all of her information is going to be there, and I had her Instagram here. I'll put it up again. And another question that we got asked last time, because people always want to know, well, how long will it take for me to be able to speak Portuguese? They think there's a magic day that it's like, and then they're good. But realistically, when we were going through in the beginning, you explained to me that you kind of teach all the rules and all the little, and you said it takes about 6-7 months to kind of get everything.
Less. Depends.
And then it's at that point where you really start learning how to have conversations, right?
It depends, obviously a lot, but I'll say from 2 to 5 months, you're going to learn the basics, the rules with me. So to be verb, past tense, how to speak in the future, how to ask questions, all of that. And then another maybe 3-4 months, talking, just conversations, listening. I would say for you to maybe not be fluent, but for you to speak Portuguese at a level that you can go to a bar and walk in and talk to people. Anywhere from 4 months to a year to be like at a nice conversational level. Again, conversational level doesn't mean you're fluent, but it means that you're able to talk. I know people that learn like faster than that. Again, it depends on you. And it also depends if you do your homeworks, if you go to class. But yeah, my British student, we even went a month without lessons. And right now, we have conversations like football. He's in England, he's not. Even in Brazil, not practicing at all. And we're able to have just normal conversations. Even though he's like, way faster. So again, it depends.
I was going to say to JB, he says that someone said 6 months. And I think if you do immersion, like you go to a place and you're living there and you have no choice and you have no app that you're trying to, use to translate stuff, that's when you can really,
Texting helps too, I think. I know a guy who learned it fast and he's always texting people. He uses that a lot. And I think talking to people, again, that's gonna maximize it. If you do the lessons, plus you have someone to talk to, or you live in Brazil, and I also sometimes what I do is I'll set up my English students with my Portuguese students, so they do like just free like weekend, they talk and they speak Portuguese and then English. I've tried it a few times and it's been great always. So whenever I see a match that I'm like, okay, this could work, I match my students and it's always fun.
Cool. Yes. Well, I recommend. She's a great teacher, guys. Trust me.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Danny, so now you should start to speak a little bit Portuguese for us, or we see what you already learned this week.
Sure. You know how I am. I gotta
say what you learned this weekend.
If you want, we can do a little bit of like how our lesson is like.
No.
I can like show with him. No.
I don't want to.
He's honestly really good. He's honestly really good. He almost like it's very rare that he misses something, and I like that you're always on time. You always do your homework. Like you never it's very rare that he gets something wrong, and if he does get it wrong, he's always like, okay, so what exactly should I do? So you honestly do really, really well. I cannot complain about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm your classic overachiever. I just want to be good. And that's why I needed to be a teacher, because I need to be accountable to somebody. If I don't do my work, then you see it and then I feel stupid. I don't want to feel stupid.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, so speak Portuguese. Come on. What you learned this weekend? Tell me.
Não, agora. Mais tarde. Okay?
Oh.
Okay. Next time. Okay, so let's continue here. But Beatriz, thank you for coming in, man. Like I want to honestly get you in here like maybe once a month just to do something, because we constantly, every time we get questions about language, and it's questions that we can't really answer necessarily, and somebody that's experienced, you teach English and you teach Portuguese. I mean, it's the perfect combination for a lot of these guys. So I mean, I'd love to like
Thank you so
bring
much.
you on as a returning guest, please. And
Thank
somebody did say to you, here we go. Amir says, Beatriz is great with her own YouTube show teaching basic Brazilian Portuguese. I agree. I asked her why she's not really doing that, but she said it's something that she's thinking about doing in the future.
Yeah, I am. Right now, I'm living in London. I'm living with my boyfriend currently between London and Rio, so it's like a bit chaotic. But as soon as like settle somewhere, like I'll definitely like to do something like that.
Cool. Well, thank you again. We're going to continue, and you're welcome to stay on or watch, or if you want to chime in at any time, you want to come back in anytime.
Okay. I think I'll go watch as a user, as a normal user.
Okay.
No,
Thank you so much for having me.
Also, it's good also. It's good also if you stay and participate about what we have to talk about today about men's talk, what they think about women's, you know. So
okay, maybe I'll join you. I'm just gonna like check on. I'm with my cousins right now, so I had to check on them a little bit because they're kids, and then maybe I'll join in like 10 minutes again.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank
See you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much. Thank you for
Nice
having
meeting
me.
you.
Bye bye.
And remember, guys, I
Nice
will be
meeting
putting up
guys.
her video tomorrow and her contact information for those who are interested. I know there's some people interested in doing some classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so many guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
no problem. Take
All
care.
right. You're
I'll see
welcome.
you.
Like, subscribe, leave comments, and follow me on Instagram.